0:35 on the 2nd of the 5th, 2020. I just want to talk about, um, let's just say, for lack of a better word, some some supernatural beliefs that I share or that I have. Yeah, I want to share these. Um, I want to talk about these because I don't know. Lately, I haven't been doing really well, and I need to get some things off my chest. I got too many things on my chest, and something happened just before, or well, I realized something happened just before, and it's really it's affecting me. So I need to somehow talk about this and vent this just to help me out a bit. But it's got to do with some supernatural beliefs, if that's the right way to say it, that I have. And yeah, I'll get to it. So as logical and rational as some people see me, I'm pretty damn let's just say spiritual. Now others spiritual is not the right word, but I'm pretty I'm believing I believe a lot of unexplainable things. Let's just say supernatural things, or I don't believe them, or I put value in those things. Let's just say I put value in unexplainable things, which is completely contrary to being a logical, rational man of science. Um, maybe I always try to be rational and logical just to balance out the fact that I have these beliefs. And I don't think there's anything wrong. We all have these sort of beliefs. If anything, some of these beliefs are some of the best things that a man can have in life, because that's essentially what hope is. Hope is the belief, even though the truth and the numbers show you otherwise, you still put hope in yourself and then you still push forward. So I don't know, I'm pretty accepting of uh, the unexplainable. But in my case, all right, I have to explain some background before we get into it. Um, so the background of the idea is, I was going through some pretty dark times in the past, and uh, since I was, feeling really down and dark and had bad feelings within me, there was this moment where I was releasing all these emotions and these feelings, and yeah, I was spilling out all this negative energy out of me. And in a sense, we can say that I there's a physical how do I say this? There's like it's captured physically, this negative energy. Like it's something that you can see and you think, oh wow, damn, like this guy must have been having a hard time, or this guy must, be feeling really dark. So there's a physical manifestation of, my negative feelings and thoughts and energy while I was spilling it out. And I captured it because, we all do those things. Like, sometimes we just really need to vent out, and then things get pretty hectic and wild. And yeah, we rant and rave sometimes. Well, usually what people do is after they create a big mess, or they, there's all this, they let it all out, and there's the end result is, just mess, or just not like chaos in a way. Yeah, the end result is chaos. And so what people usually do is after they're done and they feel a bit better, they get rid of it. So there's something wrong with me because yeah, I didn't get rid of my chaos, if that makes sense. I kept the evidence that I wasn't feeling good. That I kept the evidence that I have darkness. Like that darkness was lingering in me. I don't know why. It's just something in me didn't want to let go of it. Something in me wanted me to always remember, hey, this is you. This is something you can't hide from, and this truth, this that you can see physically is you, and you should accept it. I don't know. I'm always regret it that I still keep this physical manifestation, but I can't let go of it for some reason. No matter how many times I tell myself like, hey, just like you don't need to remind yourself of those things. Just get rid of it. I never get rid of it. I don't know why. And there's part of me that always says, because you're not gonna get rid of it because this is you, and you need to accept that this is part of you. Like this is like part of what makes you who you are. So you must accept it. I guess I keep it in a way as a way to remind me I have something to overcome. Like I have something better to become. This is an example of what I don't want to be like again. So that's the positive part about it. But at the same time, keeping this stuff, it's it still reminds me of like really negative feelings. We need to call this thing something. Let's just call this physical evidence. Let's just call it the destruction. Because that's technically what it is, just destruction. So I keep the destruction. And yeah, like there's positive reasons why I keep it. I don't know, like someone as thoughtful and rational as me must have a good reason to keep it, right? And I think it's just to remind myself that there's something better that I can become. This is a reminder, hey, don't go down there. Don't be like that anymore. Well, anyway, so the problem is, the good thing and the problem is I keep it. So, but one of the problems with me keeping it is when I see it, or when I like I notice it, because I keep it hidden on the shelves. But when I notice it, the negative feeling, I get reminded of it, and I quickly try to shut it away in myself, and I try to forget it. And see the destruction, the side of the destruction, or just even being close to it, it really affects me inside, because I know it really affects me, because even sometimes when I'm close to it, or when I want to remind myself of it, and then I want to get closer and look at it, I tremble. I tremble when I see it. Like it's a very clear reminder. Hey, these are feelings that you don't want to live again. And that's why I think to myself, why don't I just get rid of it so I don't have to feel like this? But I don't. The fact that I don't get rid of it, it gets me. This brings me further to more of my supernatural beliefs. Um, I keep it, but I'm scared of the destruction. I keep the destruction. I should get rid of the destruction, but I'm scared of it. So, what I do to keep myself safe from it, for lack of a better word, is I put a spiritual talisman in front of it, because something in my head tells me that this spiritual talisman will protect me from it, even though it's my own creation and I have absolute control over it. But I don't know, it's just more of this supernatural stuff that I believe in. So this talisman is actually it's a rosary, it's a crucifix, it's a crucifix of prayer that my father gave to me during one of my dark times. He thought that this could protect me from further malice that was out there in the world, that was raining down on me. So yeah, my father, he's not too much of a religious guy. He's somewhat religious. He's not religious in the sense that he goes to church every week and he prays and all that, but in hard times, he falls back to the religion he grew up with. And I guess he saw me going through hard times and he felt the way that he could somehow give me a boost in life was to offer me some of his spiritual beliefs. So he gave me this talisman. Whether I believe in the Christian, Catholic, church, and all the beliefs and their ideologies, it doesn't matter because the way I see this item, this rosary, is this is something that my father gave to me because he felt spiritually that it would protect me. So when I embrace this item, I embrace the fact that it's got a spiritual essence, and that essence is my father wanting to protect me in some sort of supernatural way. So so sadly, he doesn't know how I use this thing, but I use it in a way to protect myself from the destruction, from the negative feelings that I used to feel in the past. So in a way, it helped. But yeah, I put the rosary before the destruction. I don't know, because I feel like the destruction can jump out at me and remind me and bring me back to that state of mind where I'm just in absolute negative feelings. And yeah, so when I see my father's protective talisman, I feel I feel better. It brings me peace. The fact that it's in front of the the negative feelings that I don't want to feel anymore, it brings me peace. I feel like, in a sense, like it makes me seem religious. Like, oh, the power of the Christian deities will protect me from my own evil, from my own malice. And in a way, it kind of does. At least I believe it. So that brings me to I what I came across today. Um, I went to my family's house today to do some exercise, to do some weights, because we're still in this state of um, a lot of businesses being closed because of the the pandemic, and we don't want to spread the virus anymore. But yeah, so I went to my family's house to do some exercise, to do some weights, and then so I still keep a lot of my old stuff at my family's house. One of the things I still keep is the destruction, and of course it's protected by the rosary, the talisman. But today, when I was looking through some of my old stuff because I was looking for something, I noticed something. I noticed that the rosary wasn't in front of the destruction. I actually no, I didn't notice that. I noticed the rosary sitting on my a table, on my table. And when I saw it there, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's just the rosary." And then something shot in my mind. Wait, that's not where it's supposed to be. And then I looked at where the destruction is kept, and the destruction was free. And seeing it not being guarded, I feelings of panic started to engulf me. I almost trembled again. I was really scared. And I knew, like, no, I have to put the guardian back in front of it. I need to put the guard back in front of the destruction just to make me feel spiritually better. And for some reason, just placing the rosary back where I put it to protect me from my own negative feelings, that was hard. I felt myself almost trembling again, and I had to make sure that the rosary sat in front in this particular way. Um, because I don't know, I just feel like it won't do its job if it's not sitting there properly. If it's just sitting there casually. It's like a soldier needs to be in good form. It needs to be disciplined. Needs to be doing things properly if he wants to do his job effectively. He can still do his job, but there's no doubt that proper formation and discipline can bring better odds of protection, I guess. But yeah, I figured that the rosary was moved out of place because I think my family was cleaning some of the stuff, and then they probably said, "Oh, what's this doing here?" And then they just cleaned, some dust off, and then they moved everything around. They probably didn't understand that I set up some spiritual boundary upon some spiritual items like the destruction. So fair enough. I'm not blaming anyone, or I'm not angry at anyone for that. But all I knew is that I had to replace the rosary because I got scared as hell. Scared as hell. Well, whatever. I got the rosary down, whatever, and I got more relief. But I can't. But this is why I want to get stuff off my chest. I can't help but feel weak and vulnerable right now. Um, on my way home, it's a pretty windy day. It's somewhat raining, so I'm hearing a lot of noises like wind, rain, gushing, and all that. And all these little noises are scaring the hell out of me. I am afraid. I feel vulnerable, and it's weird because I'm not afraid of a bit of physical action or violence if someone wants to fight. I'm not afraid of that. But this is different. This is some sort of spiritual fear that I have, and all these little sounds are scaring me. I'm starting to think there's a ghost. Man. Just looking in the shadows behind me. What if someone's in the back seat? I'm scared of that right now. I don't know. Look, I don't have any conclusive statements to make out of this. I guess I just want to get this off my chest that there's some spiritual things that I kind of believe in. I believe the fact that my father gave me this rosary, whether it's a religious item or not, he gave it to me with the intentions of protection. So to me, that's the spiritual power of the rosary. It's got nothing to do with the religion. It's got to do with the fact that he gave it to me because he felt that it could protect me. Oh, and I guess there's another thing I want to talk about. Um, I do take solace in the fact that it's a spiritual item as well. Because if he believes in it so much, maybe there's this slight chance that the the spirits behind the religion that he follows, maybe they do have some sort of power. I don't know what kind of power. It's unexplainable, but I'm I'm putting some chips on it. I'm putting some bets on it. Putting stock in it. And I'm hoping that it can help protect me from myself and my inner malice. But either way, I guess I accept a bit of the religious part of it, but also it's the spiritual intention of protection, and I use that to protect me from the destruction. I don't know. I sound like a loony just talking about all this stuff. I should be talking to you guys about science and some of the papers I have to work on, but I just need to get this off my chest. A man's got too many things he needs to get off his chest. Who knows? I just hope that I don't spiritually get tortured tonight as I head inside to my humble abode. Who knows? Signing out.